Today we're going to go over Nidorino. We're going to start with his physical moveset, so let's go ahead and just dive right into it. So Nidorino is a little on the simpler side with compared to every other character in the game so far. He's very straightforward when it comes to what you're supposed to do. At the same time, it can be a little difficult getting that going, but once you get the hang of it, he's very simple. So first we have Poison Jab. This is also a very spammable button. You can kind of just keep hitting it. As you can see, it builds up poison pretty quick. A few of these and they will be poisoned fairly quickly. Poison Fang dives in. You have Sucker Punch, which if you hit somebody directly in the face, doesn't really do that much. If you get a back attack, huge stun, very, very good amount of damage. This also works if you hit them on counter. So if you interrupt an attack, it works really well. That's the idea behind that move. You want to go for that as much as you can. And then we have Drill Run. Very decent damage. It's more of a combo finisher, and it's pretty slow to start up, so you kind of want to save it if you can. So really decent Nidorino setups would look something like this. And that's what you want to go for. Eventually, at some point, during those setups, you'll get them poisoned, which just means they're going to die quicker and they're going to have to make more quick choices how to get around you. And that's pretty much it for his moveset. Something else to also consider, and I will switch to somebody else so we can demonstrate this. His ability, Poison Point, if you get hit up close, they instantly build up poison up to a point where obviously they will just get poisoned. So he's kind of decent against physical attackers in that regard alone, because simply hitting him is going to cause a problem for you. Alright, that'll do it for physical. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here we are with special Nidorino. So very similar to the last one, he's very straightforward, very simple. Your overall goal is to get them poisoned as quickly as you possibly can. And we've got a few pretty good ways to do that. So we'll start with Sludge Bomb. If you land just the explosion of the attack, it builds up a pretty reasonable amount of poison, as you can see, and does a pretty reasonable amount of damage. But if you land the bomb directly, double damage and considerably more poison buildup. Next we have Veno Shock. Doesn't build up much poison, and it does a really good amount of damage, and the range is great. It does considerably more if you have them poisoned. We'll jump back to that in a second. Sludge Wave. It's a good get-off move, does very good amount of damage, also builds up quite a bit of poison. And then we have Venom Drench. Builds up a small amount of poison, but doesn't do much else unless they are poisoned. So let's go ahead and get her poisoned. Alright, there we go. So, Veno Shock now does double the damage, and Venom Drench, if you land it while they're poisoned, it lowers every single one of their stats by 1 level. So the idea here is to do stuff like this, just keep them away from you. If they get close, you throw one of those in, do a Venom Drench, and the idea is to just completely get them to either die slowly or want to switch out as quickly as possible. But if you're able to get somebody poisoned, you're going to kill them, and you're going to kill them quickly. Alright, that does it for special Nidorino. On to the next one. Alright, here we have support Nidorino. So this one's a little bit unique from other supports that we've seen so far, in that we've got a kind of unique set of moves that allow him to be a little bit more self-sufficient. So let's go ahead and start with some new ones. We've got Toxic Spikes. If you're familiar with the game, basically this means if anybody switches in, they're instantly poisoned. It also, if you are a poison type, you are immune to its effect. Let's go ahead and get Audino back in. So we of course have Veno Shock, which does double damage if they're poisoned, Venom Drench, which lowers stats if they're poisoned as well. So we have a new move here, and a new kind of strategy, which is Disable. If they haven't done a move yet, it will randomly pick a move and disable it. It's done Hyper Beam twice, 3 times in a row. Let's see what it does on the 4th. And that time it did Psychic. Okay, so let's say we do Dazzling Gleam, and now I disable it, and now it's on a extremely long cooldown. So the idea behind this moveset is to, I mean, you're going to cripple your opponent. They're already going to be poisoned. You're going to Venus Shock them to keep them poisoned, Venom Drench to drop their stats, and Disable to limit their options severely. It's going to keep disabling whatever their last move used was. So theoretically you can get up to a point where they just flat out can't do anything and they have to switch out. So that is support Nidorino. And on to the next one. Alright, and finally we have Nidorino's specialist moveset. So this one has a couple of similar moves and a couple of new ones. Let's go through the similar ones. We have Poison Jab and Venoshock all in one set this time. You're going to have a little bit of a trickier time poisoning in this particular set, but you can still do it. Headbutt is a new one. It stuns for a long time. And then we have Fury Cutter. So how this one works is the more you do it and the more you land it, the stronger it becomes. So let's go ahead and just see 40 damage first time you do it. 80 damage next time. And 120. It goes up pretty high. Let's forget where it ends. 200, 240. I think that's the maximum. Yeah, 240 is the maximum. So landing that move is pretty crucial to this set, but luckily you've got a lot of ways to do it. You can do stuff like this. Of course I missed that one jab, but you get the idea. So of course there's lots of ways to set that up, as long as you are playing at a reasonable range. There we go. And of course if you can get them poisoned, it's even more scary. Also, if you land it as a back attack, double damage as well because it's a critical hit. So this is an extremely dangerous move if you are able to make it work for you. And that does it for Nidorino. Alright, thanks for watching.